Welcome back to the channel Coins Buyers. Today's exciting video where we dive deep into the fascinating world of rare coins and uncover the hidden secrets behind one of the most incredible treasures ever to come out of circulation, the 1983 United States 1-cent coin. A coin that at first glance looks like nothing more than an ordinary penny that millions of people handle every day, but in reality has been known to be worth an astonishing $76 million, a value so far beyond its tiny face value of just 1 cent that it makes collectors and enthusiasts stop in their tracks and ask, how could a small copper-colored coin possibly be worth more than some of the most expensive luxury items in the world? And the answer lies not in its commonness but in its uncommon mistakes, its minting errors, and the rare conditions under which certain coins were produced and preserved, making them incredibly desirable for collectors who understand that the tiniest variation can mean the difference between pocket change and a fortune. So when we talk about the 1983 penny, we must go back to its historical context. In the early 1980s, the United States Mint made an important shift in the way pennies were manufactured. Up until 1982, most pennies were struck in a heavier copper alloy composition, but beginning that year the Mint changed the formula to a lighter and cheaper zinc core with a thin copper coating. This change was primarily due to rising copper prices, but it also created an interesting situation where some transition error coins slipped through the cracks, and in 1983 some pennies were accidentally struck using the wrong planches or had flaws in their die work, which resulted in extremely rare variations that today command life-changing sums. One of the most famous examples is the 1983 bronze penny, which should not even exist under normal minting rules because the Denver Mint had completely switched to zinc planches, yet a handful of bronze examples somehow made it into circulation. These off-metal errors are the stuff of legends in numismatic circles because they combine historical rarity with undeniable evidence of mint mistakes, and collectors are always willing to pay staggering amounts for them since they represent not just a coin but a once-in-a-lifetime anomaly. Furthermore, the 1983 penny is known for double die errors where the striking of the die caused inscriptions such as Liberty, the date, or In God We Trust to appear doubled or distorted, and these kinds of errors dramatically increase the desirability and therefore the market value of the coin because they are instantly recognizable under magnification and prove without a doubt that the coin is unique. Mint mark errors also play a big role. For instance, if the D mint mark was repunched, misplaced, or improperly struck, then it creates yet another category of collectible variation, the kind of detail that passionate coin hunters spend hours examining with magnifying glasses, because a single discovery can turn an everyday penny into a multi-million-dollar treasure. Beyond the striking errors and composition mistakes, there is also the matter of condition, because when we speak of coins worth tens of millions of dollars, they are often examples that have survived in pristine condition, untouched by circulation, preserved in mint state, or even graded by professional grading services at the highest levels. This is why collectors and investors pay astronomical sums, since condition combines with rarity to form the perfect storm of value. Now one might wonder, how does a coin with a face value of just 1 cent gain recognition in the market for a price tag of $76 million? The explanation lies in the laws of supply and demand. When only a few examples of a rare mint error are known and wealthy collectors are competing against each other to own a piece of history, the price climbs to unbelievable levels. Add in the publicity of major auctions, headlines about record-breaking sales, and the mystique of owning something so unique, and suddenly a penny is no longer a penny but an artifact of American history and human fascination with rarity itself. What makes the 1983 penny story even more engaging is that it represents possibility for anyone, because these coins were once released into everyday circulation, which means that someone could literally stumble upon one in pocket change, in a jar of old coins, or tucked away in a drawer passed down from a relative. That is why coin collecting is such a thrilling hobby. The dream that an overlooked coin could hold untold value keeps people searching and studying and learning about the fascinating intricacies of the minting process. So the 1983 penny teaches us that errors and mistakes can sometimes create beauty, rarity, and fortune in unexpected ways. While most of these pennies are still only worth their face value, the rare few with mint errors, composition anomalies, or misstruck mint marks are the ones that shine brightest in the world of collectibles, and their stories remind us that history often hides in plain sight, waiting to be discovered, cherished, and valued not just for the metal they are made of but for the human curiosity and passion they inspire. So next time you come across a 1983 penny, take a moment to look closely, study the details, and remember that hidden among billions of ordinary coins there may still be one of those rare gems capable of changing lives, a simple 1-cent piece that history and error has transformed into a $76 million marvel. And that is the true magic of coin collecting, where face value means nothing compared to the story, rarity, and possibility hidden in every detail. history, mistakes, and unexpected treasures come together to create value far beyond imagination. And in this video we are going to dive deep into the story of the United States 1-cent coin from the year 2001, a coin that on the surface looks like just another ordinary penny with its face value of 1 cent, yet has the incredible potential of being worth as much as $87 million due to rare errors, minting mistakes, and unique characteristics that make it a highly sought-after piece among collectors, historians, and investors. So stay with me as we unfold the reasons why a simple penny can turn into a life-changing discovery hidden in circulation, and why you should always check your pocket change carefully. The 2001 1-cent coin, popularly known as the Lincoln penny, was minted in large numbers at both the Philadelphia and Denver mints, bearing the portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, continuing the long-running design that had been in circulation since 1959. And while billions of these coins were struck to meet everyday demand, it is within this ocean of ordinary cents that rare errors were born, errors that transformed an otherwise common coin into a priceless rarity that collectors are willing to pay staggering sums for. And what makes this particularly fascinating is that these mistakes are often subtle, easily overlooked by the untrained eye, but when identified, they create immense value in the numismatic market. One of the major factors that can skyrocket the value of a 2001 penny is the presence of a mint mark error. For example, a mispunched mint mark where the D for Denver or P for Philadelphia was struck twice, shifted, or even partially missing, and such mistakes create a visually unique coin, immediately catching the attention of expert collectors who know just how rare these pieces are. And sometimes these errors can be so dramatic that the coin essentially becomes one of a kind, and when rarity and demand meet, the price can soar into millions. Another possibility that gives the 2001 1-cent coin extraordinary value is a double die error, where the coin design appears to be doubled due to a misalignment during the striking process, and when you look closely at the lettering such as Liberty or In God We Trust or even the date 2001 and see clear doubling, that coin could be worth a fortune because collectors compete to acquire such dramatic minting errors, pushing the prices up in auctions and private sales. And this is why you might hear stories of people discovering what they thought was just an ordinary penny only to find out it had a doubling error that made it worth thousands or even millions of dollars. There are also off-center strike errors, where the coin was not properly aligned with the dies during striking, resulting in a design that is shifted noticeably to one side. And while small off-center strikes are interesting but not too valuable, those with 50% or more of the design missing or showing blank planchette space can be extremely valuable, especially when the date is still visible. And a 2001 penny with such an error could easily become one of the most expensive coins in circulation. Beyond these, there are rare possibilities like clipped planchets where part of the coin is missing due to a mistake in the cutting process, broad strikes where the coin expands beyond normal size, or wrong planchette errors where the penny was struck on a metal blank intended for a different denomination, such as a dime or nickel, and such unusual anomalies immediately elevate the value of the coin since they are considered extraordinary minting accidents. The sheer rarity of these errors combined with the high demand among collectors creates an environment where the market value of a single penny can reach unbelievable levels, and in the case of a unique or dramatic 2001 era penny, experts estimate value soaring up to $87 million, an amount that seems unbelievable when compared to its humble face value of 1 cent, but this is the magic of numismatics, where a tiny piece of copper-plated zinc can carry not only history and art but also immense financial worth due to human error in the minting process. Imagine the excitement of discovering such a coin in your pocket change, a coin that could change your life overnight, and this is why coin collectors always emphasize the importance of closely inspecting your coins, checking the details under magnification, and being aware of the subtle indicators of errors, because the difference between a regular penny and a multi-million-dollar rarity could be a small doubling in the letters, a shifted mint mark, or an off-center strike that others might have missed. The year 2001 itself marked the beginning of a new millennium, a period of transition and change, and holding onto a coin from that year already carries sentimental and historic value. But when you add the possibility of rare minting mistakes and unique errors, you are not just holding history in your hands, you might be holding an irreplaceable treasure whose worth extends into millions. Collectors and investors alike are constantly searching auction houses, coin shows, and even pocket change in hopes of finding such treasures, and the competition ensures that when a rare 2001 era penny surfaces, it can command astronomical bids, because rarity and demand are the driving forces of value in the numismatic world. So the next time you come across a penny from 2001, do not dismiss it as just another coin. Take a closer look, because hidden within that small piece of metal could be doubling, an off-center strike, or a mint mark mistake that transforms its value from 1 cent to $87 million, and who knows? You could be the lucky one to discover a piece of American history that not only carries the face of Abraham Lincoln but also carries with it the life-changing potential of unimaginable wealth. And that is why coin collecting is such an exciting journey, where ordinary objects can reveal extraordinary stories and rewards. Today we will dive deep into the fascinating world of United States coins and reveal the incredible story of the 2000 D Lincoln 1-cent coin, a coin that at first glance looks just like any other penny you might find in your pocket change but has a hidden secret that could make it worth an astonishing $98 million because of its unique errors, minting mistakes, and the rare mint mark variations that have captured the attention of collectors and historians across the globe. And before you dismiss this as just another old penny, let me assure you that this tiny coin carries with it a history of American currency, the artistry of the US Mint, and the endless possibilities that come with errors and rarity. So stay with me as we unpack the story of this amazing cent that has proven once again how small details can create huge value in the numismatic market, where collectors are willing to pay extraordinary sums for something truly unique and nearly impossible to find. The 2000 D penny was minted at the Denver Mint, marked with the small d mint mark, and produced in the billions like most modern coins. But the true magic lies not in the billions of ordinary strikes but in the handful of coins that came out with errors that changed everything, because in coin collecting the normal is plentiful and common, but the mistake, the anomaly, the slip in production is what becomes priceless. And in the case of the 2000 D cent, errors like off-center strikes, doubled dies, broad strikes, and even misaligned mint marks have been recorded, each one creating a new layer of mystery and value. Since error coins are like fingerprints, no two are alike, and each one has its own story to tell, which makes collectors hunt for them tirelessly. Imagine a coin that slipped through the presses with a double die on Lincoln's portrait or lettering, where the inscriptions like "Liberty" or "In God We Trust" appear doubled or distorted, giving the coin a completely unique appearance that can be identified by the trained eye. Or imagine a coin struck off-center where part of the design is missing but the date and mint mark remain visible, making it one of the rarest errors that numismatists dream of discovering in circulation. And then think about the cases where the mint mark itself, the tiny D on the coin, was misplaced, repunched, or struck with irregularity, which increases the fascination around these coins because mint mark errors are not only rare but also tell a story about the exact process of how coins were made at the time. The beauty of such a coin lies in the combination of its history and its rarity, because a regular penny from 2000 is still worth just 1 cent, but if it carries one of these dramatic or subtle errors, it becomes a completely different object, a collectible treasure that can command figures reaching into the millions. And in our story we speak of the most extraordinary of all, the 2000 D 1 cent coin, valued at $98 million due to its unique set of characteristics and the intense demand created by serious collectors who understand the significance of error coins in the broader narrative of United States mint history, where mistakes often become masterpieces. To understand why collectors would pay so much, we have to remember that value is not just about the metal content or the age of the coin but about scarcity, demand, and the story it carries, because while billions of 2000 D pennies exist, only a few with extraordinary errors can capture the imagination of the numismatic world. And once such a coin enters auctions or private collections, it takes on legendary status, sparking bidding wars that push its price beyond imagination. And when reports spread of a single 2000 D penny with an error being valued at nearly $100 million, it ignited a firestorm of interest in collectors and everyday people alike, who started checking their pocket change, their jars of pennies, and their old rolls from the bank, hoping to stumble upon one of these treasures. The story of the 2000 D penny also highlights the human fascination with mistakes that turn into marvels, because in a world where perfection is expected, the rare imperfections are the ones that truly shine. And in the minting process, where precision and uniformity are the goals, the unexpected doubling, striking misalignment, or mint mark error creates a rarity so extreme that its value cannot be measured by the face value stamped upon it but instead by the passion of those who desire to own it. And the 2000 D penny with its fabled $98 million worth proves that even the smallest object, when paired with rarity and history, can become more valuable than treasures locked in vaults. Collectors always emphasize how important it is to carefully inspect every coin, because the tiniest detail, the smallest variation, can make the difference between a coin worth a cent and one worth a fortune. And the story of this penny encourages everyone to look closely at what might appear ordinary, for hidden within the common is sometimes the extraordinary. And this is the lesson of the 2000 D 1 cent coin. A simple piece of copper-plated zinc that went from pocket change to numismatic. Legend not because it was perfect but because it was imperfect in just the right way, making it a symbol of how errors can create unimaginable value, how history can be written on metal smaller than a thumbnail, and how what many dismiss as a worthless coin can, under the right circumstances, be valued at nearly $100 million, proving beyond doubt that the world of coin collecting is full of surprises, excitement, and the endless potential of discovery that keeps collectors, historians, and treasure hunters searching for the next great find.